Derek, going into the final stage of the campaign, is there a feeling around the place that it's a good time to reset and treat this as a 10-game battle for survival?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'd much rather have a semi-final to look forward to. You can't just push that under the carpet. It was a missed opportunity for us on Friday, but the one scant consolation is the fact that now we can focus, like everybody else around about us, is just on the league business. You know, we wanted to be a strong cup team this season. We demonstrated that in the League Cup. We got to the last 8 of the Scottish Cup. We missed an opportunity, and that'll rankle with us. There's no doubt. You know, to try and make a bit of history and get to another semi-final in one season. But we weren't good enough, and there's got to be an honesty about that. Listen, it wasn't a foregone conclusion that we could go up there and just win the game. We had to do so much right in the game, and unfortunately for us, a team that had beaten Livingston away 3-0 in the last round, and a team who had the confidence to come and take us on, we weren't good enough and we lost the game. And there's aspects of the game that I thought we could have done better. But we move on, as you say in the question, we reset. We've got an opportunity now, 3 games with the next 4 at home, starting on Saturday against Johnstone, a team we've beaten already this season. With a big performance. I thought we played well that night, and it's going to take more of that to make sure we get the wins required, because ultimately the main job this season was making sure that we retained our Premier League status, and that's where we're at with 10 games, every game arguably bigger than a semi-final in the context of it, and try and treat the games that are coming up, you know, with the confidence, with the belief, but certainly the motivation to go and get the job done.
Yeah, exactly, and a lot of that squad was here for the run in last season. Can we take any confidence from the fact that they've been in a similar situation and got the job done?
Yeah, I think you look at experience in these types of situations. I think that last season, you know, it was no foregone conclusion. We still right up until the last kick of the ball against Arbroath. It was up for debate if we were going to win the league or not. You've obviously got the fallback last season of maybe the playoffs, and there might not have been the same anxiety and concern and worry, but certainly the same outcome is what's there for us now. We don't get a medal, we don't get a trophy for staying in the league this time around, but it is the same outcome. And I think it was so evident how hard everybody worked, how everybody pulled together at this stage last year to get the job done. You know, and you know, in the back of losing at Inverness last season, we come down here and have one of the most memorable nights at Rugby Park, beating Arbroath. So we're looking for an instant response. I think the supporters need to see that. I think the players need to feel that, and getting back to winning ways is what we're after. But everybody's got a role to play. You know, the players at the last home game against Motherwell, what I take real comfort for, although we lose a late equaliser, for the majority of the game up to the final part of the game, there was a real confidence about it. I thought we set about the game. The magnitude of the game was clear against a team round about us, and I thought we were the better team. So we use that as a reference of a similar type of performance against St Johnstone, but hopefully getting the job done, staying concentrated right to the end, and making sure that we don't open the door if we get ourselves in front. But listen, the fans have got a huge role to play. We're going to have to call upon everything, because at this stage of the season, what's happened previously counts for nothing. It's all about the next 10 games, and what we need is the supporters staying with the team, having that connection, doing all they can to help, and the players try to feed off that, but also giving the supporters something to shout about. The one thing you can't aim at the team is a lack of willing. They can't aim at them ever, a lack of work rate. And I would defend that to the hilt. What we do need to do is help ourselves in certain situations, be more difficult to play against when other team have a part in the game, but also be more clinical when we've got strong moments in the game. And I think that has been a lot of games when you look back and reflect where we could have put the game to bed, and it's important that we try and be that team on Saturday.
Yeah, and Danny Armstrong, just building on that, Danny Armstrong spoke to the press earlier about how he feeds off the crowd and what impact that's had in his season. Is it important for the supporters to know just how big a role they have over the next 10 matches?
Well, as I think I've always tried to impart on that, the fact that, you know, in any crowd that are with the team, I think particularly at home, we've shown that in the last wee while, even last season and this season, you know, we've shown that the players enjoy playing at home, and that's down to the fans, and seeing the attitude of the players, the kind of mindset of the players, and going after teams and trying to make sure we impose ourselves. We're not going to be perfect, and there has to be an acceptance of that. We're not going to be perfect in any given 90 minutes, and in those moments at times where we need to suffer and we need to deal with certain situations, that's the moments where we really need that level of support. But the players get all the support they can from the staff. We're right behind them. Everybody's in this together. We all feel the responsibility of keeping the team in the league this year. And we met with responsibilities last year, and I'm convinced we'll meet with responsibilities this year.
And just finally, with the AGM this week, it's given a chance to reflect in the past 12 months. This time last year, if you were offered the chance to be sitting here fighting for Premiership survival, would you have taken it?
Yeah, of course, because this time last year it was still up for debate if we were going to be a Premier League team. I think what I always felt this season, you know, when you look at the squad put together for the campaign this season, you know, there was a lot of boys come with us from last season's efforts, and then a lot of those boys deserved the opportunity to play in the Premier League with Kilmarnock. But when you look back at how we all stuck together, everybody worked together to get the job done, we got a reward for that as a club. And it is important now, this time around, as I say, that we do a lot of similar work together and get the job done of staying in the Premier League. I fully believe we're good enough to go and do that. And I do think that going forward, we can start to show the real strength of the club. We're having more scope in terms of the squad. We've already got the new training ground getting built in the next year or two. So there's a hunger, there's a desire here to improve the situation. We want to improve the situation going forward. But for here and now, it's important that we deal with what we need to deal with. So in answer to your question, of course, I expected us to be in a fight this year. I didn't expect us to be top six. I expected us to certainly have a few more points than we've got now. We're disappointed we haven't. But if you're not challenging for top six or fighting for Europe in this league, history shows you, then you're normally fighting to stay in the league, and we're one of those teams who we just need to go and show we're better than teams run about us between now and the end of the season.